Tonight on KGW News, a strong storm churning off the coast with rain and hail now making way for damaging winds. Plus, the hit-and-run driver that left a man and his dog wounded on the side of the road.
More than anything, I just don't want her in this pain. I know it's really hurting her.
Then, why a downtown Portland clinic open for more than a century is now telling its patients they'll have to go elsewhere.
I think it's a tragedy that they're closing the building down.
And later, they were out of touch for decades.
I'm glad she didn't give up on me.
Nope, never.
Never.
Now these best friends finally reunite. Good evening. We begin at 11 with a live look over the Rose City on what has been a chilly and rainy night. Right now we're sitting at just 43 degrees, and this evening many spots around the Portland metro also saw a burst of hail. This is video near the south waterfront with reports coming in from Washington County, Northeast Portland, and beyond. Well, thanks so much for joining us. David Mulco here along with Chief Meteorologist Matt Safino. Matt, let us start with what we are calling a weather impact alert.
Yeah, it's been a very busy day, couple of days. This is that storm that produced the hail as it moved through downtown Portland, really from the west side all the way over to northeast Portland and up into Vancouver. That was the thunderstorm. It produced a couple lightning strikes, and of course we just showed you the hail already, and there have been many more strong showers that have moved in since then. And radar even indicating there's snow falling at the top of the West Hills right now. It's not sticking, but I know there was snow falling below 1,000 feet even earlier this morning. So these cold air showers can temporarily bring the snow level down lower than it normally would. So yes, we still have some pretty good rain out there. Batch moving through now, more coming in from off the coast. So it will be a rainy night tonight. Now there's a wind advisory up beginning at 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon and a high wind warning on the Oregon coast for the same time period. For that reason, we're going to call that period from tomorrow afternoon into Wednesday morning a weather impact alert because of the gusty winds that we'll get in the valleys. For the most part, they won't be damaging, but there is the off chance that we could see occasional tree limb come down, maybe a random power outage or two. All because of this. It's called a bomb cyclone because the development is so explosive, meaning that it deepens in strength and so quickly. 24 millibars in 24 hours is the metric on that. This is going to more than double that rate as it gets lower pressure than even the Columbus Day storm back in 1960. So again, it's a very strong storm. The fact that it's staying so far offshore means we'll avoid the worst of the weather with it, but it still will get windy. There's more snow on the way and, of course, more rain as well. David?
A lot to talk about. Thank you, Matt. For those traveling through the mountain passes, you'll need to have chains or traction tires now on Highway 26. The requirement starts around Zigzag. Once you climb up to Government Camp, all the roads you can see are covered in snow. Many told us it's a welcome sight given they didn't see this much last season until after the new year.
I follow the weather, but some years the La Nina weather pattern is really good for us. And this year looks to be one of those years.
We'll see. So far, ODOT has not had to close any major highways, but it's urging drivers to be prepared to look at the forecast and tripcheck.com and plan their routes in advance. Developing this evening, authorities have found a man dead in northeast Portland after they responded to reports of a shooting. This was just before 6 in a residential area near northeast Fremont and 158th. No word yet on the victim's identity, and police haven't said anything about suspects or arrests. New tonight, Sherwood police are searching for a hit-and-run driver who injured not only a pedestrian, but his dog, which he was walking at the time. Catherine Cook has that story.
She's just got a real special place in my heart.
Randy Magley.
That's right.
And his dog Bella
Yes, you do.
are a team. And never have they relied on each other more than now.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what I would do without her.
With each step, Bella limps toward recovery after a crash that could have killed them both. Last Wednesday, around dusk, Randy says he and Bella were out for a walk in their Sherwood neighborhood. As they were crossing Southwest Division at Main Street, police say this silver Chevy Suburban turned right into them. The force of impact threw Randy about 25 feet. Bella's harness got caught in the vehicle's undercarriage, pinning her.
I remember hitting the ground, and all I heard is her wailing, and kind of looked up, and he was trying to move forward over the top of her.
Randy says the driver, a white man, kept revving his engine as he begged him to stop. He got a partial plate number, 619.
He finally backed his car up, and she hobbled off about 4 feet and collapsed.
Police say the driver took off. Somehow, Randy walked away with just scrapes and bruises.
I must have had an angel on my shoulder.
But Bella was barely hanging on. When Sherwood police arrived, Randy says the officer drove them both to the nearest vet hospital.
My vet said that, that his fast action most likely helped save her life.
Bella suffered a severe gash on her left wrist, lost the pads on her foot, and will need reconstructive surgery. Randy's vet bills have already topped $5,000. His daughter started this GoFundMe to help.
I didn't even know what GoFundMe was, and I appreciate anybody who's done that. It's very kind.
As police work leads on the suspect, Randy remains by Bella's side. They both know they're still a team.
I want her to be happy, and more than anything, I just don't want her in this pain. I know it's really, really hurting her.
If you want to help with Bella's medical expenses, we'll post a link to the GoFundMe on our website, kgw.com. Also, anyone with information about this case is asked to call Sherwood Police. David.
They are still a team. Thank you, Catherine. Appreciate your reporting on that. The suspect accused of stabbing a man outside a Northeast Portland bar on Friday is now charged with manslaughter and assault. Abraham Bravo pleaded not guilty in court today. Police say 31-year-old Samuel Van Dyke died after he was stabbed in the neck with a broken glass. This was during an altercation outside the Church Bar on Northeast Sandy. Van Dyke's girlfriend telling us it all happened so fast.
They exchanged some words. The guy threatened to pull Sammy's hair out or something, and they charged at each other, I'm pretty sure, and I thought it was just gonna be a fight, but there was no fight. It was glass breaking, and he got cut right away and started bleeding out.
The suspect will be back in court tomorrow for an extradition hearing. He's wanted on a felony charge for allegedly breaking into a car in Nevada. To get you caught up on tonight's other headlines now, some 50 workers at Boeing's Gresham facility are set to be laid off in mid-January. That's according to a warn notice filed with the state. This is on top of some 2,200 employees in the Seattle area set to lose their jobs next month. Boeing plans to cut about 17,000 jobs company-wide, or about 10% of its workforce. Oregon is set to get a new supply of the abortion pill mifepristone that will not expire until just before the next presidential election. That's according to Governor Tina Kotek. Last year, the state secured a 3-year supply as a Supreme Court case played out, one that ended up preserving access. In 2023, the medication was used in nearly 2/3 of all abortions in the country. And classes at 2 high schools in St. Helens are set to resume on Tuesday amidst the ongoing teacher sex abuse scandal. On Friday, the school board chair resigned, and both the superintendent and St. Helens High School principal were placed on leave. This comes after a current teacher and a former teacher were arrested last week, accused of sexually abusing students. Both have pleaded not guilty. Tonight, one of Portland's oldest health clinics, which has had a downtown presence for more than a century, now says it needs to send its patients elsewhere. Blair Best went to find out why.
The Portland Clinic on Southwest 13th Avenue is a doctor's office. During the day, that is. At night, outside the building turns into a fentanyl market.
So we're seeing really large groups accumulate and wait for dealers to arrive.
There's like 1 million people out there every night, just with foils out everywhere, drugs everywhere. Every night there's at least a few fights going on, like threatening to pull a gun out.
It's a fact of life around here in Portland.
In a letter to patients late last week, clinic officials announced they will soon close the downtown location to patient care. It will remain open for administrative services. Staff tells KGW the decision was in part due to crime happening around the building.
I think it's a tragedy that they're closing the building down because of it, instead of trying to find a place for the homeless to go.
In a statement, a clinic spokesperson told KGW, "We continue to face significant issues around our building. The dynamic situation is one reason of several that we're making this change. After 104 years being downtown and 50 years in the current building, this was a very hard decision."
I've come for almost all that time.
It will now be harder for Mary to get to her doctor. All clinical operations will soon relocate to other locations across the Portland metro area.
I can get here on public transportation really easily, and I live downtown.
There's
It's a beautiful venue waiting in the lobby, and you have to stare at people using the bathroom and all the drugs and garbage.
The Portland police tell us they've already arrested numerous fentanyl dealers outside the clinic and will continue to target the area.
We're aware that that problem is there right now, and we're going to work to break it up as quickly as we can.
The clinic will close to patients next month. Staff will be reaching out to people, letting them know where their new doctor's office will be. And the city is also getting involved here. Today, actually, city leaders met with surrounding businesses to come up with a plan on how to increase public safety in that area. Blair Best, KGW News.